Over 2 million Nigerians are already affected by the floods, with nearly 800,000 persons displaced and about 600 deaths recorded across the country. The figure continues to rise. Civil society groups say Nigeria faces imminent food insecurity as several hectares of farmlands have been submerged, with food crops worth millions of naira destroyed. The group, which includes ActionAid Nigeria, Plan International, Christian Aid, and Care International, are all calling on the federal government to declare a state of emergency, while also calling on international donors for help.
The state of the nation is in a dire need and a call for concern. With 31 states and the FCT affected by the flood, it is time for government at all levels, both at the federal, state, and local government levels, to explore sustainable ways to curb the perennial flooding that some states are increasingly experiencing during the rainy season.
This is the time state governments need to take the front seat and lead action on ground, whilst we call on the federal government, to take action at their level. In essence, what we're saying is that the response we need at this point in time must be coordinated with all the different actors playing a role.
The humanitarian aid agencies describe the flood as a national disaster, which needs state governments and other stakeholders to play their roles in mitigating the effects of the flood.
For NEMA, we have the SEMA at the state, and at the local government level, we have the LEMCs. I can tell you that most LEMCs across the countries are not functional. So even if the state were to try to respond, there's a limitation to what can happen up to the local government level.
ESA, for example, is cut off. How do we get food to them? And that's why we are calling on the Navy, and our interventions will have to be in collaboration with all of these agencies. The Navy, the Air Force, how we drop food, where people are.
The aid agencies say each affected family will need at least 60,000 naira for food and other supplies. They are asking state governors to send supplementary budgets to their state houses of assembly to tackle the issue.
Governors' Forum should be meeting right now on how they will coordinate, these emergencies.
We are saying State Housing for Assembly, meet now, look at your state budgets, reallocate budget lines, and please provide immediate life-saving interventions for people in those states.
A lot of issues that we have seen, even with the project we have implemented, around the communication, even within government agencies, and the challenges of working together to support communities.
Average from our responses, you need an average of 60,000 naira per household. So if you do the math, you will then know how much you would need in the immediate. If you take off some money from our visit to pilgrimage from all the states, it will go a whole lot in responding in the immediate.
There are also questions on what has happened to the ecological funds being disbursed to state governments. The NGOs want governments across board to begin the construction of structures across the 6 geopolitical zones to accommodate victims displaced by natural disaster. Georgina Ndukwezainka, Arise News.